Silicon Valley. When you hear the term Silicon Valley, think about what comes to mind. If you think about it as technology, people, growth, activity, raise your hand. Great. And put them down. If you think about it as a beautiful place near the seaside with hills and rolling towns where people can get beautiful ideas and do psychedelic crazy things, raise your hand. Oh, one person out of all of you, wow. Oh, two, okay, a few more now back there. You're both right. It is both of those things. And the good part for you is that Silicon Valley is a mindset. In addition to a place in California, it's a concept and a style of operating, living, and succeeding that each of us, wherever we are in the world, can embody. Over the next hour, my goal is to share with you some lessons learned and the keys to success, Silicon Valley style. As Vincent noted, I've had the opportunity over 3 decades to work with fabulous leaders in technology, from Apple to Google, as it was just starting out and growing, to Nvidia, the world's most valued company today, as well as a ton of startups and growth companies in life sciences, environment, etc. And during that journey, I have seen there are 3 characteristics that people who really succeed at quantum, 100,000 times faster than everyone else, speed, 3 characteristics that those people exhibit. And those characteristics start with the desire and the commitment and the passion to do something different, to make something happen, to make the world a better place. I think back 30 years ago when a fairly young 20s engineer at a company called AMD, designing semiconductors, had a dream. There's got to be a better way to design technology for computer systems that allows things to be processed and developed in a much broader way. That person, Jensen Huang, who committed to finding that better way, is now CEO and founder of Nvidia. That is the core technology powering a lot of the fastest, most powerful AI and graphics capabilities. It started with that commitment over 30 years ago. That's where I'm going. That's the North Star. And I will do whatever I can in my power to get there. So characteristic 1 is commit. What do you want to achieve? And number 2 is use your creativity to determine how to get to your goal, how to achieve what you've committed to. And that can be creativity in how you solve problems, the kinds of people you work with, the kinds of tools you use, and the paths that you take. 15 years ago, I and my company were engaged by Adobe, that was well known then for being a very successful software company, designing fabulous creative tools, releasing about every 18 months a big suite of fabulous capabilities. Except suddenly the market had changed. In 2010, we were in a recession. There were new technologies coming out, so companies were not willing or able to spend thousands of dollars for new software. It required creativity to think about and explore different ways to be able to provide people with the tool exactly what they need at exactly the moment they need it for specifically the amount of money they were willing and able to spend. Through 5 years of exploring, trying, failing, and succeeding, Shantanu Naren, the newly appointed CEO of Adobe, was able to not only shift the pattern of his company, but ultimately the industry. Today, we would never think about buying a box of software and installing it on our computer. That's so antiquated. But that started through the software as a service. Use what you want when you want it. That started through creativity. Commitment, creativity, combined with collaboration. In both of those examples, Nvidia, Adobe succeeded by the CEO and the executive team working collaboratively together. No one person had the answer. No one individual or team was assigned, fix the problem. Let's work together. And that's where I see for you all a huge opportunity. You're already committed. You're here. You're spending your summer learning with strangers from around the world. You're clearly creative in how you're going about that, out of your own environment. And today, and over the next weeks, you have a chance to collaborate with people that are from very different backgrounds, probably have very different skills, and very different mindsets. So I encourage you to use this time to meet people that are different than you. If you are good at technical, analytical analysis, look for people that are good at creating and designing and thinking differently. If you're good at healthcare and technology supporting it, look for people that are into humanities and social sciences, because the two coming together can create great ideas. We use the term in Silicon Valley, 1 + 1 = 3. Two people, very different skills working together can create something much bigger. So as you embark on your learning journey and your careers, I encourage you to take with you these 3 characteristics so that you can succeed at a very fast speed, Silicon Valley style. But it starts with understanding yourself and what you're really committed to. Take a minute and just think. Out 20 years from now, what do you really want to have achieved? In 20 years, where do you want to be in your career? What might that look like? Turn to somebody next to you and share what you're committed to doing. As of today, what are you committed to achieving in the next year? Saw your hand first. What are you committing to?
I want to be a leader. I want to have subordinates. I want to lead them. to complete their own goals, not the goals of me as a leader. And in a company where we do financial consultancy. Where we do financial consultancy, and we want to help other companies just make creative decisions with their money, not to be basic and like everyone else, so that the whole market becomes more interesting, not just one company.
Excellent. So changing the world of financial services.
My dream is to have 2 degrees, and I want to do something on my own.
Yes.
I want to like what I do.
Yes.
I want to have a great family that are healthy and they're happy. And I just want to be happy in life.
Excellent.
I'd like to start a firm and focus on growing the nutrition as well. Also collect money from people and do large-scale charity work in my country. Give shelter to people who don't have, start with helping my relatives and then scale it up to the entire country and like help. I want to help like at least 1 million people for sure. That's like what I
in helping make it easier for other people, it helps the business needs as well as taking up my family, and of course earning money and expanding my community and my years.
Commitment to really making the next teamwork, collaboration.
As a future doctor, I'm committed to becoming a role model for my community. As someone with a lot of experience in the medical field, I like to expand it more with research and become a bridge between clinicians and researchers, and not just monetary gain, but gain for those who live in disadvantaged areas.
Yes.
Dedicate my life to social service.
Working in the business development sector, and instead of just working purely, I want to get involved with the research so I know exactly where I want to take the firm, because right now there are a lot of ethical concerns in context of biotechnology, so I want to fix that. And other than that, I don't want to give up my creative side and focusing on what I've done. I want to create something fictional which can get adapted to the mainstream.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. I love the strong commitment. Folks, I love the strong commitment I hear from each of you from different angles, from financial services to technology to science to health to education. There's lots of different angles and views from your commitments, but there's a consistency here. A consistency in making the world a better place. And I really appreciate and congratulate you as a group for that commitment to leave behind future leaders, future society, your nation, your country, your town, your environment, your family, to make better for the future. That is a very Silicon Valley mindset. It's not just about me. It's about what I can leave behind and how that applies. I also see many opportunities for you to collaborate with each other, because those that are committed to education can learn from those that are committed to finance. So encouraging those cross-industry bonds and dialogues is very, very important, because commitment is the start. The second characteristic, as we discussed, is creativity. And I think for some people, creativity as a word can be interpreted as making things beautiful, which it is. But creativity from a Silicon Valley mindset is looking at the world differently. Asking questions of, what if we invested in cryptocurrency instead of this traditional path of wealth management? What might that look like? It's taking little steps and risk. Let's invest 500 in it, not 5,000, not 5 million. Let's try something small. And if that works, then we try a little bit more. Taking things one small incremental step at a time is part of being creative. While you're here, and when you get back and start your next semester, you will have lots of opportunities to be educated and to have professors or people like me stand in front of you and share with you experience, knowledge, and wisdom. And that's good, because from each of us, you'll each take some little thing away that will come back to you somewhere in your career, we hope. But where you really learn is when you try things, when you get your hands dirty, when you experience it. Because let's face it, that's the way we as humans are kind of built, to learn from what we do. I don't know about you all, but I never learned to ride a bike by reading a book about it. Did you? Yeah. I didn't even learn too well from my dad telling me how to do it. That didn't work either. It took getting on the bike and trying it and falling off. And then I learned. Successful achievement of what you commit to is the same way. The best way to know how you can really truly impact education and accessibility in Australia is to maybe set up a little booth somewhere on the beach or in the desert and try something new and see if it works to teach somebody how to do something. That's the best way to learn. We often say you have to learn by rolling around in it, trying it and experiencing. So when you're committed, you're willing to be creative, you're ready to embark on the journey of using your brain, both sides of it. Because we do have that right brain and left brain. And one side of our brain is really good at the big picture innovation. And some of you may be very good at and enjoy those big picture questions. asking the what ifs. Why don't we try it? Why not? Thinking big. Others of you may be good at maybe good at, there we go, at the other side of the brain, which is execution, making things happen. And that's an opportunity for great collaboration. The best companies and teams were made up of the big picture and the executors. I think about, for example, Apple. Apple, which is known for creativity, thinking differently. That's the market it goes after. And that's where Steve Wozniak, one of the co-founders of Apple, he is that big picture guy. And always challenged Steve Jobs, who's much more of an execution, precision. Let's get it exactly right. By the big picture challenging the get it right, and vice versa, they were able to, in essence, build and change an industry. So, as you think about your commitment, think about which side of the brain you most enjoy working in. What is your style? That doesn't mean you can't do the other. You can. We all have both capabilities, but it's an opportunity to look for collaboration partners that can support you in looking at both sides. Because successful achievement of commitment comes from innovation combined with the ability to get shit done, as we say. Make it happen, do it right. You've got to have both of those. And that's where today, I believe you all are at a wonderful point in society as you launch your rocket ships to your commitments, because you are empowered by technology, AI and robotics, which some people do believe could be the end of the world. I disagree with that, because AI and all technology is simply a tool. It's something that we as people can utilize to amplify, expand, enhance our ability to be innovative and to execute. We can use the tool for equal sides of our capabilities. And when I say it's a tool, I equate it to, for example, a kitchen knife. A kitchen knife is indeed a tool that is great for chopping vegetables or fish, or for chefs to make wonderful meals. We would never dream of doing it without the proper knife. But as I've learned, unfortunately, the hard way a few times, when you're using a really sharp knife cutting things, you have to pay attention, because otherwise you cut your finger off. The same with AI. When you're using an AI tool, you have to use your brain along with the tool. You have to check what it's doing. You have to go back and determine, is this logical what it came up with? And you have to be strategic to use the right tool with the right prompt in the right way to get the right results. Just like you wouldn't use a big bread knife to cut a little piece of cheese. You'll have a mess. The same with AI. You use ChatGPT to write your company's strategy for the next 5 years against a competitor. You do that in an open source tool, you'll have a mess. So use your brain and use the tool together. And yes, AI can create damage, but that depends upon how it's used. Just like the knife can cut your finger off, and it depends upon the intent of the person. A kitchen knife in the hands of somebody that wants to stab somebody can be dangerous. So use it, but use it intelligently and strategically with good intent. And today, as we use open source tools or specific tools designed for a particular purpose, we as people are creating the future of those tools. They learn from us, which is why you, as you embark on the next years of your career in college and getting the 2 degrees that I hear some want to get, you have a built-in research assistant through AI. I am sure that today you can easily find, through your tools, access to any study on any topic that's been done anywhere in the world that's available to you in probably a 10-minute set of prompting. Only 5 years ago, students were still either going to libraries, looking for things, or Googling, questioning, spending hours searching. Today, 10 minutes, you have that access. Leverage it, but leverage it while using your brain to question it. When it comes back with the research study that was done in Brisbane in 2020, go back and look not just at what the tool said was in the research, go back and pull the article, pull the research, review it, ask more questions around specifics. That's where AI plus human capacity gives you 100,000 times faster ability to learn, because you're constantly able to question it. And it will learn from you the kinds of things that you're interested in. If you share with your preferred AI tool your commitment, I want to be the one that changes the way healthcare is delivered in my market. How might I go about structuring my courses next year to give me what I need? Then drill down and allow that tool to become your study coach. If it knows what you want to get to, if it knows what you believe are your skills, it can then suggest things that you might want to learn, experience, to develop new skills in order to get you faster towards your goal. You can prompt it to look for your weak spots. I have a colleague in Norway, where I'm based, who rides a motorcycle, at least in the summertime, not in the winter and the snow, but in the summer he rides his motorcycle to work. And he has his headset where he talks to Claude, his preferred tool. And he explains to Claude the meetings that he's going to have that day. And he explains the background of the people he's going to meet with and his goals. And he asks every day, in meeting number 1, what do you think I should look out for in Joe, my boss, that he might take offense at? In meeting number 2, how do you think I can convince my client to pay more money for this product based upon the past history? And he gets some really valuable answers. It doesn't mean he always takes its advice, but it makes him think differently. It questions. And over time, and he's done this for like 6 months, he's now able to go into that same tool and say, hey Claude, based on how you've seen me develop in this period and the kinds of meetings and interactions I've had, what do you think are my real blind spots? The things that I'm not very good at, the things that are holding me back in achieving my goals that I don't see. And it's given him a pretty good list of things that are his blind spots. And it was interesting when he called me up and he said, let me read you these things and see if you agree with them. I said, to be honest, Jens, I agree 1000%. These are your blind spots. I, as a friend, would never actively told you that these are things you need to work on. But I agree with what your tool gave you. So it can be that coach, it can be the guide, it can become your mentor. And it can help you in pathing and determining what are the choices that you can take to get to your committed goal over time. And in doing so, it actually can be that brainstorm partner, that what do you think I could achieve if I applied to Harvard instead of USC? Based on how you've seen me develop, what do you think is the best place for me to go? You don't have to take its advice. You don't have to share its advice with anyone. But it can be a fabulous tool to propel you forward. And the really good news is that you're going to have more opportunities to leverage not only AI, but all forms of technology more and more. We're just at the beginning of the curve. And in Silicon Valley, we all debate the timing, but experts agree within another 5 to 10 to 15 years, we will have a whole new platform for technology called quantum computing. How many of you have heard that term, quantum computing? A few people? Excellent, excellent. That's great. That's absolutely great. It is a completely different basis for society. When we think about the systems and tools we use today, they were designed based on these semiconductors that have gotten faster and faster, but they were designed 50 years ago. And what we're doing with AI and technology on these old platforms is way beyond what the platform was made for. That's why you hear a lot of people say AI is the worst thing in the world for the environment, because you need big computers. You need big warehouses filled with computers that are sucking up all of our energy. Amazon, Google have established huge places with nothing but systems, probably as big as this whole town of Oxford, with just computers. using a lot of power. And then when you use lots of power with lots of computers in big warehouses, it gets hot. So then they have to have water going through pipes to cool them. That is not sustainable. Everyone agrees that is not sustainable. And the problem is, today, we're doing all of this based on old technology. We're putting more power into something designed 50 years ago. Quantum computing is a whole new platform design based not on joules and I's and O's and semiconductors, but physics, quantum physics, completely different architecture. That has been in development for 40 years. And already today, in Amazon, in Google, in IBM, in research labs, it is utilized today. In fact, even Amazon now offers quantum as a service. So when you establish your highly successful, well-funded companies in another 10 years, if you're well-funded, you can go on to AWS, Amazon Web Services, and subscribe for quantum as a service. To be 100,000 times faster than your competitors. And that, I believe, is real. In another 10 to 15 years, that is the kind of systems and platforms you will be working with. And that is what will speed the whole evolution of life and your abilities to achieve what you're committed to. So AI is the basis. That's the foundation today. Starting to already significantly power autonomy. In Silicon Valley, we refer to Uber as either legacy Uber, or are you going to book a Uber self-driving? Waymo, various self-driving automobiles are considered way safer, way more efficient than those driven by people. The technology is better at precision. The technology does not need to stop and go to the bathroom. The technology does not forget where they are. Much more efficient. And as we get to quantum, much faster. Digital twins are tools that some of you may use to explore science, to explore the environment, to explore new ways to treat people in healthcare. The digital twin means that you can be right here at Oxford and through technology performing an emergency surgery to somebody stranded in the Himalayas. You can explore what is the right location for the latest cobalt minerals in the Pacific Ocean from right here. That will be possible more and more over the next 3 to 5 years. And blockchain as a digital ledger not only is opening up whole new currencies, whole new ways of managing finance, whether that's Bitcoin's cryptocurrency, it is also empowering an ability to work in a Web3 environment where you could establish a decentralized autonomous organization, a completely new structure with contract, security, storage of cryptocurrency, that you can build a company off the grid, shall we say, with people from around the world, many of whom you've never met. And you can leverage virtual reality to meet and support one another. In the short term, there's lots of VR capabilities of simulations. If you think you might want to work in the fashion industry in Paris, but you're not sure, you can do a VR simulation of what would a day in the life be like as a designer in Paris. Huge ways to roll around in it and explore creatively new technologies. Robotics, taking away the need to do certain tasks, and recognition, taking away that need to have a million passcodes and car keys and blah, blah, blah. Soon we'll be able to walk wherever we are being recognized. So you're living at such an interesting time as you begin your journey to your goals. The technology will fuel you, but it takes the creativity and it takes the mind to power you forward. So today, and going forward, how are you all using AI? AI or other technologies that you might be using? A little technique, if you're using it for writing or summarizing, which is great for writing and summarizing. If you use ChatGPT, what I actually like to do is use, say, ChatGPT, then go into another tool, Claude, and ask it the same question. Sometimes you get completely different views, and then regenerate both answers. And it really, for me, it makes me think a little bit more creatively and a little bit different. Different angles, different views. Any last example? Yes, I thought I saw one up here in the front.
Do I need to sign up?
Yeah.
Okay, so I always use AI because I'm getting to IBDP. So I ask AI to create like a study plan for me to prepare for some classes like math AA, like high level. So what specific topics I need to be like better at
Yes.
to get to those classes.
Excellent.
Basically.
It's indeed a brand new world. You have a million opportunities and paths to achieve your commitment. The last thing, and I realize, folks, it's hard to sit in a room for 45 minutes without talking, without your phone. I recognize it. But the last thing I really want to leave you with is a framework. It's a framework that you can use individually and a framework that you can use with your colleagues here to progress you more quickly forward towards your commitment. And that framework starts with always focusing on your purpose. What you committed to earlier today is a key part of your purpose. Why you're here. Many of you are already thinking big picture. I want to change the way my nation does this. I want to bring education to people. I want to shift how housing is distributed. I want to make healthcare accessible. Those are powerful purpose statements. And over the next weeks, months, and years, I encourage you to keep that purpose front in mind. Write it down. Post it on your mirror at home. Put it on your whiteboard. Put it in your phone. Because over the course of your life, you will have lots of ideas, thoughts, opportunities, friends that come to you with, hey, wouldn't it be fun if? I believe you should take a course in that. I think you should become this. But if you're clear on your purpose and you have the discipline within yourself to achieve your commitment, you can always go back to people who ask, why not? And say, I've thought about how this might impact my ability to achieve my purpose. And I choose not to go that direction. Or I will try it for 6 months and see if it moves me forward. Things in small steps. But keep your purpose first and foremost in your mind as you make those decisions. And then secondly, allow yourself the opportunity to explore, try things, learn from experience. Get your hands dirty. Roll around in it. Even things that may feel uncomfortable at first. If you and your study coach and your virtual mentor in ChatGPT believes this can help you cover that blind spot, try it for a week, a month. See how it works. And evaluate, is this working for me? Take some risks, but always in small steps. And always knowing that with that action, you're going to evaluate, after a short period of time, you're going to evaluate how well is this moving me towards my purpose. If it's going well, do more of it. If it's not, that's okay. You tried it. Now go back and try something new. And always collaborate. The success for myself, for Steve Jobs, for Jensen Huang, and millions of other innovators and leaders, success comes from collaboration. And know what you're good at, know what you enjoy, and encourage people to work with you that are good at the things you're not so good at. That means avoiding that human tendency to surround ourselves with people like us. Because it's simply easier to be hanging out with people that think like we do. No, look for people that will think differently, that will debate and will question. They are your best collaboration partners. And you each have an opportunity to empower one another, but also to empower people in your nations, in your communities, and the next generation. You heard a number of references to your families, that you want to build a great family. Demonstrate the future readiness. Demonstrate focus on purpose. Willing to explore. Try things. Evaluate. Does it move me towards my purpose? And openness to collaboration. You all are in such a wonderful point in history because you're right at that tipping point where technology is going to power you 100,000 times quantum faster than any of the rest of us.